Welcome back to Do Something Every Day. This series is a diary to my kids. We are developing a new load for my 270 and 308 rifles. In the previous video, we did all the measurings of the 270 casings and the 308 casings. So here we've got those measurements for the 308 and the 270. And tonight we're gonna start with the actual trimming of the casings. Okay, so what I've got here is just some casing and bullet measurements that I usually use as a guide. So this is for the 270. See, it says here maximum trim length is 2.54 inches or 64.51 millimeters in case length. And the same here for 308. I'm just going to quickly take it out of the box here. So what we have here is, it says the maximum case length is 2.015 inches or 51.18 millimeters. So that would be my maximum case length. So I'm going to trim them just a little bit short of these lengths over here. I've quickly went through my list and the length is all over the place, so I'm gonna quickly just sort out, then decide on at what length am I gonna trim these casings. I see there's quite a number of them that's below the 51 millimeters. It's like 50.97 and up, or 6 millimeters and up. Those ones I won't trim. I'll just shoot them again to try and lengthen the case a little bit so it's more consistent between these ones, but I'll see how I group these casings together. So just to show you the process that I follow for this is, let me just take this out. So for instance, over here I've got a 308 casing. I've taken off my other guides and so on because I use it on the actual case trimmer over here. So what I'm going to do is, I've got this casing over here. This casing, I just want to get it here, is set to 51 millimeters basically. There we go. I'm going to use that as my guide to set the length to what I want to trim all these cases to. So I'm going to trim all these casings to close to as possible to 51 millimeters. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold it down here and lock in the casing in the actual grip over here. Did it skew? Let's undo it. Get it in. There we go. That's skew again. Check it quickly. Yeah, that looks a lot better. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to loosen up the screw over here. Then I can actually change my measurement over here so that it touches the casing here when it's set to the max position. So when I actually start turning the case in circles, it will trim against this blades over here. So now you see nothing's happening because it's actually not touching over here. Just bring it up closer. So you'll see there, it's not touching. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring the blades down until it actually touches the casing. Then without tightening it down again, I'm just going to turn the case very slowly to make sure it doesn't actually catch. You can feel it scraping a little bit. That means it's basically just there. Then I'm going to tighten down this screw over here just to keep it in place. Give it a quick whirl. Perfect. Now I can actually start trimming the casings. So these were just my sample case that I had over here. Let's start with number 1. Put it into position. lock it down, check it, and let's start trimming. So you can actually feel and see small metal shavings coming off the end there, and you'll feel as soon as it's done, the actual case itself will feel a lot smoother. You also don't hear that the noise of it actually cutting the pieces away there. So this one's basically done. As you can see on the, I don't know if you can see on my finger, all the fine shavings from the casing. Let's take it out. There you can also see the rim of the case. Nicely cut down to size. Let's measure it, check it, and check my vernier. See what length we got. Pretty close. It's a 9799. Oh, there we go. 51. 50.99. I think that's close enough. So this one is going upside down in my tray over here, so I know that one's done. Now it's time for the next one. Back again onto the guide, push back into the grip, lock it down, there we go, and let's start trimming. There you go, it's done. Unlock it. There you can see this casing as well, nicely trimmed. There you go, spot on. So I'm going to forward through the video for the remainder of the casings, so you don't have to watch the boring bits. That's it. That was all the 308 casings. You can see all these. Move that out of the way. All the shavings that came off these casings. Put that on the back of this paper, it might be a bit easier to see. So there's still a lot more shavings lying around here. You can see quite a bit of shavings that came off these casings. And that's only the 308. So next is going to be the 270 casings. For that, I'm just going to quickly put you guys on hold so I can fetch my battery drill to connect this onto. Okay, I'm back. I've got my drill over here. So now what I do is I just place it inside, like so, tighten it down. Okay, so that's basically what it looks like. So now all I do is I take my casings, put it in here, but I'm just going to quickly measure what the actual length is in here and what my desired cutting length will be. So I had a quick look at my sheet for the 270. It's the one that's got all the shavings on it. I'm going to throw the shavings in the dustbin. So what I've got here is, if I look at most of these measurements over here, I think I'm going to trim my casing to 6440 in length. So I'm going to quickly have a look and see which one of these casings is 6440, and I'm going to use that as my guide. And I'm also just going to quickly grab two other old casings that I'm going to use for as a sample to make sure that the length is actually cutting to the correct length. Okay, so first steps first. I think just to adjust it quickly, I'm going to take it out of the drill first. Drill over here. So move the 308 cutting tool out of the way. So I'm going to just loosen up this grub screw over here. There we go. Same for the side. Okay, there we go. Now this part over here is movable. Now if I look at my sheet here, I want to cut them to 6440. So number 7 on my list is the correct length. So I'm just going to take number 7. Put it in the holder there. Then if you look in the hole straight through there, I'm just going to move that until it touches it. Basically just touch. But then I'm going to turn it, but in the reverse way, so I don't want to actually trim this case. I just want to feel if it's going to grab or if it's in the correct position. I'm going to tighten down the screw, the grub screw. Same for this side. Double check it, feel. Is it just touching? I think it might be trimming it a little bit. Let's grab one of these sample casings and give it a taste. So back in the drill, tighten it down, grab a sample casing, give it a whirl. So there you can see already something popped out. Let's have a look. See the tips trimmed. And let's measure it. So this one sits at 64.26. Oh, we trimmed it down way too much. So I need to readjust it. Yeah, it went down way too much. Okay, loosen it up again. Thought it might happen, so take number 7, put it back in. Tighten down a little bit, not all the way yet. That feels a bit better. It basically I think I moved it again. That feels better. Just touches. Okay, let's try it again. Next sample case. You can see it's trimmed. Check the tip. 35. Ah, so close. Still a little bit long, otherwise I'm going to just trim it everything to 35. That is actually one of my better measurements in any case for my previous loads. Okay, let's trim it to 35. We've got everything set up. I'm just going to tighten down in any case. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's start the trimming process. Luckily this will go a lot faster than 308 casings. Down. Murphy's Law. Now this one trims down to the correct size. Check it with the next one as well. Might be because it's different makes of casings. Close. So we're going to get to the actual desired length in any case. This one, let's go down a little bit more. Don't want to put too much pressure on the bearing. There we go. That's better. Okay, let's continue with the rest of them. There you have it. That was the last of the 270 casings. So now the next step is I need to camfer and deburr all these casings. So I use this Lee little tool that I got. It's quite old, but it works for me. So what I do is take the casing, put it inside, swirl it about a little bit. See, it makes a nice little rim on that side, and then the inside, same there. That looks a lot better. And I do that for all the casings, and as I do that, turn them around again, so just to keep track. the 308 casings done. Next is now the 270s. And that's it. That's all the casings through the process of trimming, and then the next one of just getting rid of all the burrs and getting rid of all the sharp edges. So in the next video it's going to be measuring the case volumes. So I'm going to take 5 308 casings and 5 270 casings and measure the volume of all those casings and use that average in applications like Quick Load or Gordon's reloading tool. For those of you that doesn't use those applications to develop loads, you don't have to use the next one unless you just want to use that to group your casings together according to the volume of all the casings. But thank you so much and see you in the next video.